Vandaag spreek ik met Emmanuel Keze van GreenCape uit Kaapstad. Kaapstad in Zuid-Afrika is net als Kortrijk een UNESCO Creative City of Design. En dit UNESCO Creative Cities netwerk zit vol met inspirerende voorbeelden van onze streek. We delen dus ook graag buitenlandse voorbeelden met jullie. GreenCape, het dak waarvoor het werkt, stimuleert de groene economie en brengt daarvoor bedrijven, investeerders, onderwijs en overheid samen, de quadruple helix. Emmanuel is verantwoordelijk voor het Western Cape Industrial Symbiosis Program, dat bedrijven met elkaar verbindt op basis van afval is voor het andere bedrijf grondstof. Wij vonden dit super boeiend en ook een mooie inspiratie voor onze eigen regio. Well, hello, Emmanuel. A warm welcome to Kortrijk. We can't meet in person, but we're very fond that we can do this interview digitally, of course. Before you start to talk about what your job is and what you do within GreenCape, could you please introduce yourself, who you are, to our audience?
Okay. Hi, Stein. Hello, audience. My name is Emmanuel Kasese. I'm the program manager for the Western Cape Industrial Symbiosis Program, which is WISP. I've been with GreenCape for a little over 7 years. Thank you.
All right. Could you explain to us what GreenCape exactly is, and maybe more specifically, the Western Cape Industrial Symbiosis Program?
Okay, I'll start with the GreenCape. So GreenCape is a not-for-profit organization, that's an NPO, that was set up to drive the green economy within the Western Cape and South Africa as a whole back in 2010. So what we do is we try and identify any barriers that are there to the establishment of a green economy, and we try to find ways to remove those barriers. And then WISP, which is the Western Cape Industrial Symbiosis Program, is a program that was initiated by the Western Cape government, which is the province that Cape Town is in 2013, to try and stimulate the local economy and create employment through value-add activities that can be used to add value to waste streams. So currently, the program is being funded by the City of Cape Town, and our main goal is to try and divert waste from going to landfill. So how we work is we work with manufacturing companies mostly, so that's the manufacturing sector. We try and identify anything that is underutilized. That's mostly your waste streams, your byproduct streams. We identify those. We try to find other companies that can make use of those materials. So that is done through looking at alternative treatment solutions to those waste streams. So that's what we call value-add interventions to those waste streams. And our approach is always from a business point of view. When we work with companies, we always tell them you can actually improve your bottom line through industrial symbiosis. There's potential to get additional revenue when you're value add in your waste streams and you can sell it to somebody else. You can save costs if you are avoiding disposal costs. You are avoiding transportation to disposal facilities. You are using alternative, substitute, cheaper raw materials. There's quite a lot of potential to actually save costs there, and a lot of potential to create employment, because all these interventions that are there to value add the waste streams, the opportunity to create employment around that, because somebody has to upgrade the material to a usable form. So, and some people can actually start new enterprises through these waste streams. So we're just trying to establish a network of companies that share resources and to be more resource efficient. Thank you.
Okay, so it exists since 2013, I understand.
Yes.
That's already quite some time. How does it work then? So you bring companies together, you support them in working together. Could you maybe give some examples to make it really complete for us?
Okay, so it's almost like a process. The first thing is always identifying some sort of need. For example, a company that's generating a waste stream and they're not quite sure how to dispose of it responsibly. And then the second step will be identifying some other company that can use that material stream, or actually identifying some sort of technology that can value add that waste stream. So now you have two parties. one party that has a waste stream and another party that can use it. So then the third step of introducing these two companies to each other, then it's sort of like a process of negotiating the final details as to how the other company can like run logistics, quantities, just to see if the what we call a synergy is viable. Because at the end of the day, it still matters that a company doesn't lose money through a symbiotic synergy that they're trying to. Exactly. So once that happens and then the synergy is implemented, then the exchange of material starts happening. So a good example will be between a paper manufacturer that generates paper sludge as a waste stream that is sent into landfill, and that's costing a lot of money in terms of disposal. And then a brick manufacturer that's looking for something that has a lot of carbon content, something that has moisture content, because with bricks you need moisture, right? So you put those two together. Now material is no longer going to landfill; it's going to the brick manufacturer. They incorporate that into their clay bricks, and they actually make a brick which is lighter, has better thermal properties, and is cheaper.
Okay. And can you give another example?
Okay, so another example could be if you look at solvents. So companies do use solvents for cleaning and other uses. So you have companies generating a lot of dirty solvents, which have a lot of contaminants in them. And traditionally, these have been sent to landfill as well, or for incineration. But when you incinerate something, you actually lose the whole value in the material. So there's a company that we introduced them to that does solvent recycling. They will improve the quality of the dirty solvents to about 99% purity, and this can still be reused in production processes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And then another one would be maybe ash as well.
Yeah.
Bottoms ash from boilers. That also goes to brick manufacturers because ash has what they call pozzolanic properties, which is cementitious. So it actually helps with the bonding of the brick to make it more compact.
Okay. Wow. So you make it really easy for the companies to work together and to help each other out, actually.
Yes.
So you exist now since 2013. You told me. What are the next steps? What's your ultimate goal of this project?
So, at the moment, we're not just doing industrial symbiosis. We've actually tried to expand to expand the program by doing more value-add activities. So at the moment, we're doing what's called a material flow analysis. So that is where you look at a whole industrial area. You identify all the material inputs that are coming to the area and what's leaving as products and so waste streams. But once you've done that, you can actually do a theoretical exercise to determine the kind of gaps that lie within that area in terms of what interventions can you put to improve the resource efficiency of the whole area. So it's not just looking at the node as the company, it's looking at the whole system and optimizing the whole system.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe one last question for you, Emmanuel. What are the learnings from this program? What could you share? What are the to-dos and or what are the do's and the don'ts that you've come across with, and what we could learn from?
Okay, so an IS program, I think it's ideal in an industrially dense area, and ideally you want to focus on the manufacturing sector because they've got the capacity to generate as well as absorb waste from other companies. And you also want a diverse set of companies that do quite various different things, because you find in most cases the solutions to a waste stream usually lie within a sector or a company that you don't usually associate with on a day-to-day basis. So for example, construction company and a chemicals company, these are companies that don't talk to each other on a daily basis, but you find solutions that probably lie within sectors that you don't work with usually. And another thing is that the importance of having facilitators. So these are people that are actually on the ground and they go to these companies to identify these opportunities. There are many other programs, industrial symbiosis programs, where they've tried to do almost like online waste exchange program, but usually it's slow because there's no one to push the synergies. So you find with people on the ground can actually expedite the whole process and make it quicker. And the important thing is to try and involve academia and government. So you're always aware of the research that's happening within the academic circles related to waste valorization. And government also helps with interpretation and understanding of legislation. And you almost want to work as a relay of information between government, industry, and academia. Sort of like to bridge the communication gap between those three, because one of the things that we identified was that there's not enough communication between government, industry, and academia.
Okay. That sounds like really good advice. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Emmanuel, for this very interesting interview. I think we've learned a lot from your experience. And if we have extra questions, we will certainly get back to you. And I really, really hope we can once, when this is all over, we can once host you here in Kortrijk with us, so you can visit our very interesting industrial companies that we have here.